Joe, I thought our guys were resilient. I thought we played at an extremely hard level. We played a lot of guys. I thought guys were ready to play. I thought their attention to the scouting reports were really good. Just fell, one play short in the NKU game. But I like our aggressiveness. I think we're playing really, really hard.
Off of that, 4 games between now and the resumption of Horizon League play, what things you want to accomplish over the next couple of weeks before getting back into the league slate?
Yeah, I think just getting better. I think that's the most important thing this time of year, Joel. Just the little practice time you have, utilizing that, individual film, individual skill work, making the right plays, making the right reads, continue to pass the ball better. We certainly got to pass the ball a heck of a lot better. We're 23rd in the country in scoring. We're not executing our blobs right now, and we're at the bottom half of the country in assisted baskets. So, there's still a lot of things offensively we got to work on. I think defensively, in the last 2 games, we've really made a huge stride. In our overall defense, I think we're at 265 out of 360s, but we were in the 300s. So we're not a finished product by any means defensively. We got to get better, guarding the ball better, rotating better, finishing plays. So there's a lot to get better at.
As far as this weekend goes, starting with Westminster, just the benefits to the community to have this kind of game between two local programs.
Yeah, the game has been going on here for a long time before me, and it'll probably go on after me. So I think the game's important. I think anytime you can play a local team that has a lot of local players, I think we should do it. It'll be a great crowd tomorrow night. They bring a lot of fans, a lot of excitement. This is a program that's 34-11 over a 3-year span. They win games. They're very well coached. Coach Jerrod is a very, very good coach. They know how to play. They're going to switch their defenses. They're skilled. They make threes. So we approach it as any other game, but also the understanding of a lot of local kids are on this roster. So they come in with a chip on their shoulder.
Just the opportunity Sunday with an Ohio team that's been to the tournament, kind of been there, and just how big this could be for the program.
Yeah, a lot of respect for Jeff Bowles. He's a guy that has earned everything that has come his way. He started at the Division II ranks as an assistant way back in the day with Greg White at the University of Charleston. Guy I've known for a number of years and has worked really hard, from an assistant at Akron, Ohio State, to head coach at Stony Brook and OU. They got a great program. I was just telling Jamie, watching their games, their fan base is incredible. The environment at OU is at a high level. It's been a lot of great coaches, a lot of great players there. They got a lot of new guys. They got 9 new players. They got 4 returning guys that know how to win. Tremendous freshman class. I think his freshmen are as good as anybody in that conference and really at the mid-major level. They've had a couple bad breaks. They lost to Belmont. With 0.5 or 1.5 seconds on the clock. They lost to Michigan in overtime. So this is a team that's very good.
What did they do well then?
Just they're good on both sides of the ball. They're not a one-sided team. They've got a great post player that they play off of. They value the ball. I think they all know their roles. They do a really good job of playing within themselves, and they're very well coached.
Then getting into Dwayne's performance over the weekend, just what has made him such a focal point for this program, and just what sets him apart as a guard in this league?
Yeah, I think Coach Robinson hit it on the head. It's something I've felt for really since I got him. He has a good understanding of how the game's supposed to be played. A lot of superstars kind of force the issue, or all-league type players force the issue. He doesn't do that. In our program, it's about making the right play. Reading that defense and making the right play. I think he does it most nights. He's been a little turnover prone. I think he's trying. It's an area that bothers him, and that's a good thing. That's a good sign to see that a young man of his caliber really values possessions. He said, I got to quit turning the ball over. But in that particular game, I've been part of 3 of them, Joel, as a head coach. I saw Nick Harney at Fairmont score 48, Cam Morse, Youngstown score 44. It was incredible. And then what Dwayne was able to do. So I told our guys, there's going to be moments in a season where individuals are in a zone. and I thought he was in a zone. That was as efficient as a 40-point game that I've seen. It was free throw line, making shots from the perimeter, threes and twos. He was perfect from both the foul line and the 3-point line. It's hard to do. And it's something you'll remember as a coach. But we needed to win. That was a big win for us. Wright State's a great team. It was a 1 or 2 possession game. We were down, we were up. It was a typical Horizon League game, Joel. Every game's a battle.
You've spoken about the need for Dwayne to be a leader on and off the court for you guys. Just what development have you seen there, and how can you continue that?
Yeah, I mean, that's, to me, the great teams have multiple leaders. He needs to be one of them, along with a lot of these older players. We got 5 seniors. So I think we're I forget what Ethan said the other day, but, statistically, we're top 30, I believe, in the country and one of the oldest rosters in all of college basketball out of the 363 teams. So it shouldn't just be one guy, but I think Dwayne is a guy that's certainly capable of doing that. Along with a lot of others.
And then my final question is the process of recruiting into Youngstown. Just what went into that to draw him to YSU?
Dwayne, I don't want to say it was easy, but there was really 3 people involved. So obviously Dwayne, it's his decision. But Dan Urban, his AAU coach, was a very good friend of mine. We talk weekly, not only about Dwayne but his team. I tried to hire him years ago when I was at Fairmont to be my GA. He's now the head coach, a high school coach in the Cleveland area that's very successful. And then Kevin Jackson was another guy that was involved that coached AAU as well with Dan. So Dwayne used to come to my house when we were at Fairmont. Him and my son are the same age. So he would spend the night as a 6th and 7th and 8th grader, and I would work him out. So we knew once he went in the portal, he was our number 1 target. And we were very fortunate to get him. And I think everything that we kind of sold has happened. He plays a much bigger role on our team than he did at Dayton. He was coming off an injury when he was at Dayton. So I think it's worked out really well for not only him, but certainly our program. We're benefiting greatly. Not only him, but all of our guys, these transfers. And Johnny, this class has been a really good class for us in the portal and with John Lovelace.
Coach, there's just a couple questions I want to ask as
Yeah.
well. Previewing Westminster, we have 3 guys who are in or at around 30 points per game. Can you tell me, what really this team has to do to really slow down their offensive attack?
Well, I think number one, anytime you're playing a really good scoring team, you got to be disruptive. So we got to do a really good job with our ball pressure and use our length. They're very skilled. Not only on the perimeter but even inside. Their post players can step out and shoot threes. They're 6'4", 6'5". We're not used to seeing this type of team. So it's going to test us, on ball defense. It's going to test us in the gaps because we got to do a really good job of helping the guy with the ball, and then our contests. They're going to shoot a lot of threes. They always do. And then, our zone offense has got to be good. Typically, Coach Jerrod comes in here and plays a lot of zone. So as he changes our defense, we still have to be in attack mode. We can't be passive, whether that's in transition, whether that's shooting a three, posting up, those sorts of things. This game will certainly start with our defense tomorrow night.
Right. And can you tell me a little bit about Adrian Nelson as well? He is second in the Horizon League right now in rebounds. So can you tell me how he's been able to transition his talents onto the court?
Yeah, AD does a tremendous job of pursuing the basketball. When the shot goes up, he's got great hands, and he's a tough kid. He's always been a willing rebounder, an exceptional rebounder his entire career. Where I think he's made the most growth is in his offensive game. Now he's able to shoot threes. He's able to drive the ball. I also think with these other guys getting a lot of attention, we have 4 other players on the court at all times that can score the ball. He's doing a great job of pursuing the ball, and Malik Green as well. So we want to continue to build off of our rebounding, be one of the best rebounding teams, not only in the Horizon League but the country. I think we're top 50 in the country right now.
Right, and going off what you said really about the whole team just really firing on all cylinders, can you tell me how important it is for team chemistry for this team with Malik Green, Adrian Nelson, and Dwayne Coe as well?
Yeah, I think that's the key to everything. I think that's the key to life. You got to have chemistry, whether it's with your wife, whether it's with your boss, whether it's with your coworkers, whether you're on a sporting team. That cohesiveness, working together. I think now in the portal world, it takes a little time. This team is certainly. They all get along. We do a lot of team activities. We do a lot of team dinners. We do a lot of character classes. We constantly spend a lot of time talking outside of basketball, right? Like this whole season is very long. So we want our guys to have a lot of fun together and build that brotherhood. And I think these guys have done that.
Coach, you had some big plays made by some guys off the bench at Wright State. Can you talk about Bryce McBride had 12 points, he was big at the line. Will Gunn had some couple big blocks, and B-Rush hit that big three. Talk about play of the bench players.
Yeah, I mean, that's the strength of our team. We've talked about it really since we got together. There's going to have to be some sacrifice, whether that's from the starters, maybe a starter from last year's team now coming off the bench, or maybe a guy that's transferred in, he's coming off the bench. There's constant communication, Jamie, with these kids about their role, things they may not like. We want to hear that. We want to try to work on that. We want to try to help them, to be their best. So I think, this weekend, Bryce was tremendous. I thought he had two really good games. In the Wright State game, I thought he did a great job on Trey Calvin. Sometimes things that don't show up in the box score are defense, or box outs, or screens. There was a critical stretch in the game at about the 7:52 mark that Josh Irwin got 5 points for Dwayne Cohill, and it's simply screening. I told the team I'd love to play with Josh. He loves to screen people, right? He loves contact. Doug will probably recruit him here in another few months when Doug gets to a game in the next couple weeks to see how big and strong Josh is. So he likes contact, and he did a tremendous job of dribbling the ball, handing the ball off, and slipping out of his screen and drawing two, or having contact to create an advantage. John Lovelace made a couple big blocks in those games. Miles Hunter has shown some really good signs. Will Dunn made a big three in the Wright State game. So, there's going to be a ton of guys. Garrett Covington was tremendous in Northern Kentucky with his defense. He's still trying to, get his feet down, and he's coming off a major surgery. So he's going to score the ball better as the year goes, but he played unreal defense in that NKU game. So I think it's a committee team. I never know who's going to step up. The good thing is, as I told him, I'm very fortunate to have I believe the deepest roster in the league. So we're going to utilize that the best of our abilities. And any given night, guys can step up.
On a personal note, you're now tied with third with most wins at Youngstown State with your former mentor, Coach Peters. What does that kind of mean?
Wow, I didn't know that, Jimmy. It means a lot. It really means for me, the reason I'm here is because Coach Peters. I always talk to our guys about there's people that come along in your life that help you, that you always remember. But Dan Peters took me in as a 22-year-old student assistant at the University of Cincinnati and really groomed me, along with Coach Huggins and Coach Kennedy. Great staff there at Cincinnati. A lot of talks with him throughout that year. Hey, do you really want to do this? Is this the direction you want to go? And then he helped me get my first job ever at Walsh University. So I did not know that. But, yeah, Coach Peters obviously played a big part of my development as a coach and as a person. And I'm very close with his son. He's doing a great job at Georgia State, and was at Xavier, and was at Arizona. So great family. And, he talks so much about this place. So it's kind of a neat thing to see it come full circle.